Emily's Nostalgia over here with another video pertaining to CRT TVs. As you can tell in the title, the caption, this video's CRT TV's relevancy in 2025, if they're any good, or if you should just get a upscaler or a converter for your flat screen. My opinion, modern flat screens do not do any justice for these old games, especially something, pre-HDMI, before an Xbox such as this PS2. Me personally, I don't take it further back to like the N64 or anything like that. Far back as I go is PS1, PS2 games. That's just me. But not to say that this doesn't pertain to anyone going after, a CRT to use for their Sega Genesis or something along those lines, something older. But anyways, I'm going to say right off the bat that there's no comparison to a CRT TV and a flat screen. CRT is going to be way better. Now with that being said, not some cheap CRT TV that has just the three basic, hookups right here, the red, white, and yellow. You got to have your RGB, with a decent cable, not a TMU cable. That's $2 that you get a special on, spend 30 to 50 bucks, get you a good cable, or, a factory cable for like a PS3. In this instance, would work really well for the PS2 because they're the same, they're compatible. But the image on here, you're not going to get that on a flat screen without an upscaler. RetroTinks, it's cool, not everybody can afford that. Even some of their, their cheaper models are still just absurd on the price for anybody not, trying to get into it without just spending a whole bunch of bank on it, In my opinion, you're not going to get much better than this without upscaling, and not everybody's into upscaling because you didn't have upscaling like that readily available back then. It just wasn't a thing and not a necessity. So why would you need to do it now when this is perfectly accessible and feasible for people on a budget? Now, with that being said, a lot of people on Facebook Marketplace, what have you, or eBay or something, they're going to charge, pretty penny for a nice Trinitron or something that's going to put out an image this good. But you can get lucky if you just keep your eye out and just look and look and look like I did. I got this one for free, 27-inch, nothing wrong with it. Obviously, there's, some paint staining, whatever, is in a kid's room. I got it because it was upstairs. The deal was carry it downstairs and it's yours, Simple as that. 90-something pounds. These Trinitrons have handles on the sides, no big deal. It was mine home safe, and they're really tough. I mean, obviously, they hold up. Image warping, little to none. I mean, a little bit on the borders. It's a CRT, you're going to have some of that. But nothing to, catch your eye and that's ugly or that you don't want to look at for hours on end. You got to love the old static when you click these things up, When you turn these on, it just gives you that nostalgic vibe of the static just crackling away. But if you're not used to that, you might not like it. For instance, like, say a significant other or someone, around, like, isn't experienced to that or used to it, or hasn't been a long time. It might be like, what the heck, or that's bothering my ears, which is normal, for some people. I don't have sensitive ears, I work in a loud environment, so it doesn't bother me none. That's something to factor in. It's nothing obnoxious that you can't get used to. That being said, space. Obviously you're not throwing the sucker up on a wall. It's going to have to be in a corner stand or a big TV stand. Mine's a corner stand. I think they look better. You can work more with the space instead of it just being in a big TV display, but, to each their own, depends what you like. Sometimes those are cool, to have other stuff around, more consoles. I'm kind of limited to space with this, but this is about CRTs, not the stands. Just had to put that out there. With that being said, is it doable to game without one with the retro games? Absolutely, you can do it. Do you want to? I mean, not really. I'm going to tell you, my PS2, it got used, but it didn't get used near as much having a CRT like this because just the image, it just makes all the world of a difference, because your eyes get strained out playing on a flat screen without an upscaler very quickly. I mean, you just play the game for 2 minutes, you let it up, you're like, well, this looks like crap, it's not what I remember. And because it's not, like other videos, people mention, I'm sure you've heard about it before, but your eyes get strained out and that makes the gaming experience crappy, and then you just want to boot up the Xbox One or something along those lines, And that's not what it's all about. It's about, you know, enjoying your experience with the retro gaming and bringing back like what you used to remember and enjoy. And that's what these CRTs do. They are a little cumbersome. They are big. You know, like I said, it is worthwhile. Do not second guess it. Just go ahead and get you one. Like I said, make sure, you know, it has the hot, you know, the better output, and you get the right cable for it, or else it's just not going to be worth your time. If you get some crappy cables and you do it, just don't even waste your time. Stick with the flat screen. But I will say, you know, I'll post more videos of the image quality on this on many different games with no upscaling. And, you know, you have options, you know, like, you know, your Freeman Boot and this and that, you know, for certain games for the PS2 that can help unlock a little bit better graphics, you know. Those of you know what I'm talking about. If not, I can explain that in another video sometime. But yeah, this is a quick little, you know, video. I'm gonna wrap it up, but figured I'd make something, you know, a little different, something, you know, from a smaller platform, from maybe, you know, a guy that you guys would, you know, relate to a little bit more. You know, I'm someone that's got a small channel, you know, don't have an extravagant setup with a bunch of money, just, you know, sitting here telling you to buy the most expensive thing or buy the biggest, best, this, that. I'm just being real and honest, and hope you guys can get a little bit from my 2 cents. You know, like, dislike, throw some comments, say what you wish I would have thrown in this video, what you liked about the video, what you disliked about it. Feel free, subscribe, that would be awesome. Starting this channel small, it's working my way up to 50 subscribers, so yeah, gonna have some live videos coming soon, and you guys just holler at me.